Welcome to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs, the podcast that dives deep into the stories of trailblazers who shape our world. Our co-host, Lulu Benavidez, is a seasoned entrepreneur in the beauty industry, is a photographer, artist, and the proud owner of Lulu's The Salon in Galveston, Texas. Our other co-host, Sue Krokonis Hanson, is a visionary in the entrepreneurial world with years of experience in business innovation and development. Together, they bring you insights, inspiration, and the journeys of remarkable individuals who have made their mark. And with that, let's get started. Janine Jarman is a celebrity hairstylist, salon owner, and the founder of Curl Cult, a revolutionary professional brand reshaping the way the industry approaches texture and perms. With over 20 years of experience behind the chair, on set, on stage, and in product development labs, Janine's career is defined by innovation, education, and inclusivity. Recognizing the need for modern solutions for textured hair, Janine created Curl Cult to update the outdated image of perms and offer stylists fresh, accessible tools to meet the diverse needs of today's clients. Her belief is simple. When stylists are empowered with knowledge and confidence, they can transform not just hair, but how clients feel about themselves. Janine first rose to national attention as a fan favorite finalist on Bravo's Sheer Genius, and her influence has only grown since. Today, Curl Cult is used in salons across the U.S. and internationally, driven by Janine's passion for innovation, creativity, and cultural change in the beauty world. Her mission remains clear: to help people embrace their natural texture and to equip beauty professionals to lead that shift with confidence, creativity, and heart. Today, we are excited to have her share her journey, insights, and what's next in the world of texture and hair innovation. Please welcome Janine Jarman.
Well, welcome, Janine, to Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. I'm the co-host, Lulu Benavidez, and my sidekick co-host, Sue Krokonis Hanson, and we welcome you to this podcast. So, Janine, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're originally from, and what led you into the career in this profession?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on, first of all. My name is Janine Jarman. I am currently residing in Los Angeles, California, where I've been a salon owner of Heroin Salon here for 20 years. I grew up in Long Beach and then Huntington Beach, but always knew, even though it's technically not that far away, that I would move to LA to pursue, all the things. I started doing hair in high school. It found me. I have kind of would be deemed hard to manage hair at the time. And I would wear it in like all these fun updos. And a girl from school was like, "Hey, I love your hair. Will you style mine for a dance?" And I mean, honestly, the rest is history. I started doing her hair for dances and then other people. And then I met another girl who did makeup and we teamed up, and I had my own updo makeup company with the best friend who is to this day my very best friend in high school. And it was a godsend. I struggled in school, had a ton of energy, and was unmedicated with my hippie mom. So yeah, it was always like I knew I had a lot in my heart and my head, but I didn't know where it would take me. And I feel, to this day, like the moment I became aware that I was good at hair and that I had a passion for it and that there was this wide world for it, I knew I would explore every opportunity that it offered. And I've done just that. Over the 24 years that I've been a hairdresser, I have managed to get any job that requires a Cosmo license. I've done it, from platform work to working behind the scenes for various companies, product development, working with celebrities, competition work. I was on a reality show for hair.
Yes.
When I say everything, I mean it. You guys, if you got hair or you need hair, I can figure it out.
That was one of the questions that I wanted to talk to you about right off because, so maybe some in our audience are aware you were on Bravo Sheer Genius, which was a wonderful show that everybody watched. But I was curious as to how you got into that, what the process was, and what that overall experience was like for you.
Yeah, so for me to get on the show was a little bit different than some of the other people. I'm based in LA and ended up having producers that came to my salon that were like, "Hey, you should try out for this," for every season. So it wasn't until the third season. And it's personally for me, I'd never seen the show, but I always tended to be disappointed how hairdressers were portrayed on TV in a competition setting. It was always like, "Oh, do a dog's hair, do it blindfolded, like things that really almost like made fun of and minimized our skill set.
Yeah.
So for the first 2 seasons, it was very like, fun and games, which, listen, nothing wrong with that. But just for me personally, I think there's plenty to show as a, difficulty wise, challenge wise, without us having to like do things that are demeaning to our profession. So it wasn't until the 3rd season that they really had taken a different approach and wanted it to be more avant-garde. And that's what really spoke my interest. I was like, yeah, I'd already been nominated for an avant-garde NAHA and knew that was my zone. So for me, it filmed locally, even though I had to live on like in the houses and stuff. I was really the only Los Angeles local that was on that season. And yeah, it was great. This sounds crazy, but I like to approach a lot of things blindly. So that I can experience it firsthand and not overthink it. So I know that it may be a little bit more untraditional, but I didn't have cable, so I'd never seen the show. And when I got casted on it, everyone's like, you got to see the show. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to kind of show up, bring everything I would need to do hair, and I'll just take it each challenge at a time. And for me, it ended up proving to be the right approach. I ended up getting 2nd place and winning fan favorite. So yeah, maybe like an unconventional way, but I've approached everything down to when I'm going to do a new celebrity's hair. If I don't know much about them, I don't look them up. Because I want to be present and like experience them firsthand, not be like, yeah, I know that you did this. Like, it's just too much. So yeah, that's my weird way of doing things. I mean, down to presentations too. Like, I try to really speak from the heart. Like, I mean, even today, I read your guys' questions quickly, but I was like, all right, cool. This is what we're going to be talking about, industry stuff. But I want to, be present and like really always show up and be on my A game and not over prepare.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's always the best way. Just be
right.
I mean, some people would argue with you. I know I've in some scenarios, people are like, you don't want to rehearse this again, and think that I'm unprepared. But if I'm speaking about like my profession, what I'm doing, that's, over prepared will make me become, sound inauthentic.
Right. And everybody's different. Yeah. Because I'm such a technical person. I got to read everything. I got to make sure it's right. And Sue, my co-host, is totally different. So that's why we bounce off of each other.
Me and Sue.
Yeah. So at any rate, fast forward, you are the founder of Curl Cut.
Curl
Is that
Cult.
correct? Curl Cult.
It happens all the time. It's a tongue twister.
A Curl Cut. Well, you definitely are the new generation of texturizing. Yeah. Because Sue and I,
tell the people
look at our background. We come from Zoto's International, Conair, Shado, back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we were doing permanent waving back then. So there were 250 of us that were selected to go all over the world. There was, Zoto's own 60 countries. So we know everything about permanent waving because we know the 2 founders of Zoto's, which were Dr. Ralph Evans and Dr. McDonough.
Which if anyone doesn't know, Zoto's is like the creme de la creme. Like not just the perm in a box part, but like the education and like competitions and like turned it into an artistic, expressive world.
Right. So Sue and I have done all that.
I love that.
So to see you as a new generation to come up with, because your audience is different than our audience. Yeah. And to see the how it's developed and what you're doing, it's so exciting. So
I want to ask you, what do you think? Like, have you guys been waiting for me to show up and do this?
Yes. And some of the permers that you use, some of the rods.
Yeah.
Well, we got those rods back in the 70s or 80s in London.
Different, but similar. It was the old version kind of what you've really made your own and brought it to being. But it's brilliant. I love looking at your stuff.
Thank you.
So Sue and I are just so excited that texture is coming back for a long time in our industry, you see hair that was straight, there was the updos or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you have in different textures. So be able to see that, to be able to see the actual way that you perm hair is quite refreshing.
Thanks. Yeah, and I kind of can tell you like what brought me here to that. Because
Yeah.
it's always
Okay.
like, celebrity stylist turned permist. Like it's a hard left, like you're like, all right. How'd that happen? It was, I have naturally curly hair. I became allergic to hair color after my first kid. And by the side note, I went to a cosmetology school that had her name's Miss Francis. I hope one day I get to run into her again. But she was like an award-winning permist. Like all of her, in the 70s and 80s had all of her awards. And, most of the girls in my school were like, ugh, who cares? I was in beauty school in the year 2000. Nobody wanted it. Everybody's flat ironing, right? They're like, gross. So it was a combination of Miss Francis and then 3 Japanese exchange students that were in my school. One of them, his name was Kenichi, and he wanted me to perm his hair on stir sticks, right?
Yeah.
So Miss Francis is like, I'll show you how. And it was such an immediate, just core memory for me where I was like, I will never dictate my career by the trends. I'll always embrace the trends and know how and be competent, but I will always be inspired and just do the things to do the things, not because people want them, don't want them, but to really just create and come from that place. And during that time in the year 2000s, the most unpopular probably year for perms, I fell in love and I was like, whoa, this is the most punk rock thing you can do to hair. Because it really was. It was yeah, we can flat iron. I'm sorry, but boring. And it's not that interesting. It wasn't and it was damaging and blah, 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 all these things. But I did it for years. And then we had, smoothing systems, also totally boring. I'm as ADD as they come. I was like, oh God, where perming, it was like, all right, if I do this and then stack it up and then put it on sticks. And then there was this way that I could approach solution oriented, permanent styling.
Right.
And then given my background with, I'd done hair for the Pussycat Dolls, Ariana Grande, a whole list of celebrities, which I was thermal styling, avant-garde work, all that. So I had a really good, and session work for beauty companies. So I had a really good grasp on thermal styling. And I'm like, how do I apply the two to design the perm design for the haircut? But we had perms that were rooted in perms of the past where it was really hard pressed. Right. And in the 80s, we wanted these firm curls that really stacked things up. But today's, they want the long bohemian and it to mimic natural curl pattern. Right. So then of course, I went into this. It took me about 5 to 8 years altogether of curiosity, finding a chemist in Italy because I couldn't find anyone in the US to do vegan, paraben-free, sulfate, surfactant-free perm technology. Everything here in the US was no, we don't meet those guidelines. Yeah. Whereas Italy naturally already meets those guidelines. Those are their table stakes. So it took me to there, which a perm, this chemist that I got stuck with, I'll say, who's, mind you, genius. I knew he was because he was older guy, he'd been around, made perms, furious that he was put on my project, that the president of this company, I wheeled and dealed some things that they needed as a creative hairdresser. I was like, all right, I'll design photo shoots and all this. In exchange, I want you to make a perm for me. So this chemist is like, great, I'm stuck with this girl for the next few years, making a damn perm that nobody wants, which he yelled at me in Italian. And the interpreter's like, he said, you're not an idiot, but basically what is wrong with you? Nobody wants this. And I knew that at the time because straightening hair was the most popular. But I also am a statistics nerd. And I knew 60% of the population has curly, textured, duplicated, storied hair. And we could not continue just straightening it to oblivion. Right. Also, in the US, we were going to have to become up to pace with European guidelines at some point. And we're just beginning to see that hit. So I knew if I designed something now, we would need it in the future. Also, I knew we were going to eventually get out of this, extremism with hair where it was like makeup always starts the trend and then hair follows. And at that time, makeup was like contouring your face, doing the most, like the most. I'm like, this is not sustainable. And this is leaving behind a ton of consumers that are like, I can't do this. So I guess I'll just do nothing and wear a bun and just wear whatever. So I'm like, all right, how do I build something that's going to engage all these people we've left behind by only making their beauty routine more complicated and damaging? I'm going to make something that's simple, that's effective, and takes everybody along with them. So that's really, it came from a place not like, I want to bring perms back. I wanted to solve a problem, which I felt like we were only making more problems for people in hair. I wanted to solve that. It's like, it's me, it's my actual clients too, that were like, how do I get my hair to look like yours? And a lot of my clients had flat frizzy hair that styling it, a curly cut wouldn't get it there. And a traditional perm would make it look artificial. So I designed a perm to look like natural curly hair.
And I love that, and that you had the foresight, because I grew up back in the early beginnings a million years ago. You were really doing competition work, and it was pounded into you that the elements of design are line design, color, and texture. And yet we've had this 15, 20-year period where it's been line design, color, no texture. And to me, it always felt like that there was something missing. Not that we needed to go back, like you said, to the extreme curl. You know, a disclaimer, Lulu and I both have naturally curly hair. I just got tired of fighting the floor. This is what I wound up with. But I love that you've reinvented texture to a way that completes the design. I think that's really awesome. And that's why when Lulu and I were researching, we were like, man, this gal's got it going on. Really knows what you're talking about.
From your mouth to God's ears. Because let me tell you, this has been a fists up fight every inch of the way. And like, I've become more passionate about dispelling the European standards of what hair is supposed to look like this whole time too, because it's like, no, nobody wants curly hair. I mean, I'm having meeting after meeting with would-be smart people being like, no, nobody wants. I'm like, says who? Like, I do, but like nobody's giving the education or showing up in a way or teaching the stylist. How about that? I was like, I'm going to come up with a great perm. We launch and they're like, we don't know how to style curly hair. We don't know how to roll rollers. We don't know how to cut curly hair. It's a mess out there. So I'm really like, I wrote a cutting curriculum that's just simple, more straightforward. That it's not like, okay, you have to be a specialist in this too. Like, buy a specialist in curly hair. Like, yes, that is cool. But everyone should know how to do every fabric that sits down in your chair.
Exactly.
Lulu is a little more anal than me. I'm a little bit more the wild card, but we both have been, Lulu still is, but salon owners, out of school, all that. And the one thing that Lulu and I have always believed in is systems. And obviously, in your training and your education, what I've seen, you are very much a believer in having a systemized approach to your education. You want to, I think sometimes words get overused and people sort of miss why this is so important.
I mean, I think that's been the hardest challenge for me is how do I simplify these, texture hair principles. Making something quick and easy is the hardest. And with our perm education, we have a 20-minute certification video that's free to all hairdressers. You just enter your license and your information. That was something else too. I was hairdresser salon owner right here. I'm like, no more gatekeeping. No more making me pay $300 to learn how to use this properly, because that's insane. Like, no, like I want you to know how to use our perming system, our texture system properly. I can charge you to buy the product. But I want it is important that everybody gets certified, that everybody, but that the certification also isn't 2 days, you know, in a conference room in New York, but that it's accessible to everyone.
That's the old way.
Yeah. Accessibility is really important to me. And we do, you have an online certification. That's your like table stakes. We have live Zooms, and then we can do cluster classes in an area, in-person classes, hands-on, demos, all that. But there's something for everyone that we can meet you on your path wherever you may be.
So can you tell us more about how is your online classes done?
Yeah.
And then how can stylists find you?
So the first is getting certified. You'd go to Krokonis.com. There's a pro portal. You'll enter all your information in, and you'll have access to a back-end portal that you can only get access if you have a cosmetology or barbering license.
Okay.
You take those, there's a barbering certification and a Cosmo. One's short hair, one's long hair. I say take both. One's 15 minutes, one's 20 minutes, totally worth it. It puts you on the stylist finder map, but then also opens up so that you can order direct. And we also have distributors in your area as well. If you're interested in an in-person class, you can talk with your local distributor and get an educator to come in and do a in-person one. Cool. And then weekly, we have different live Zoom classes that we announce on our Instagram. Yeah, I go live every Tuesday.
Right, that's who did.
Try to show up wherever anybody can be in different ways.
Yeah.
So is that successful for you going live also?
Yes. I mean, it's hard, right, to measure it's definitely been a great way to engage with both customers and it's right. We have two prongs. We have our stylist is our customer, and then the client is our customer as well. So that's been unique, having to educate both. And we're definitely trying to put more consumer education out there, because that's been kind of a fall gap for us, is they get this perm, but then they don't know how, their hairdresser didn't know how to educate them to style it at home. So yeah, we've been launched for about 3.5 years. We're constantly redoing and evolving and how we can do that. I had just the other day, right, online, somebody watched one of my lives on Tuesday, which was yesterday. Oh my God. Right?
Yeah.
What day is it?
Yeah.
You guys.
I know.
You know. How many hats can I wear? So you guys are like, we're hairdressers, salon owners. You also know how to do a podcast now. Did you ever think?
No.
I mean.
What goes on
but
behind the scenes?
We do the things. We figure it out. So I went live and just showed how I sleep in my hair at night as a curly hair person, dropped it down. And there was a customer that reached out and was like, hey, I got a perm. And I was like, she's like, but I'm having a hard time at home with it. I'm like, show me what it looks like. And she sent me pictures. I'm like, oh, do this, this, and this. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's going to be so helpful. I wish I had known. But no fault to the stylist, because bear in mind, this stylist just learned how to perm. I don't know if they also know how to style curly hair. That's a whole other skill set, right? So I asked the client, I said, all right, let me ask you this. How would you like to have received the information? She's like, okay, I would have liked a takeaway at the front desk and a QR code that I could have scanned at the, so I'm like, all right, great. So it's not rocket science, but it's asking the right people the right questions.
Right.
And I'm in the business of solving problems. I wasn't like, I'm going to change the world with curl education. Initially, I just sought out to be like, how do I make a perm look like and behave like natural curly hair? And then I unearthed all these other things we needed to solve for, and I'm just figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm switching gears a little bit, but it's obvious that the base of your knowledge not only comes from being a fabulous stylist, but it also comes from being a salon owner. Yeah. So you've had your salon now in LA for, would you say 20
years?
Yeah. So tell us about the salon.
Yeah. I also had one the same one in New York for 6 years. We closed during the pandemic for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So salon owner, right? I'll put that hat on. In designing this product, I also saw what great value it was teaching my team how to support texture, how to cut texture, how to style texture, and how to have the right tools and the right systems in place for it. I also wanted less SKUs. I'm over it. I'm over the lines that just are just so SKU heavy. And when designing the retail, I was like, all right, every single thing, we need to make it have at least 2 uses, you know, or multiple kinds of texture. So I'll give you Magic Spell. It's our top seller retail. It's a leave-in conditioner, but the molecular weight of it is lighter than water on purpose so that you can use it as a cutting spray, it's also a pH balancer because I'm able to do that with the pH in it. It's like, why not? Why not make it balance pH while we're doing a leave-in conditioner? And why not make the molecule lighter weight than water? Like, I can do this by design and make a couple products in one. So we're able to use it as a perm prep spray, as a perm finishing spray to make sure that we're like getting it all neutralizing pH. And then I'm able to send it home because I also have pea protein Plex technology and curl supportive elements in it as a refresh spray, still a leave-in conditioner and pH balancer because everybody needs a pH balancer all the time. So yeah, just thinking, designing a better product instead of saying, oh, I just want a leave-in conditioner. It's like, but what's this doing and who's this for and why? A leave-in conditioner doesn't have to just coat the hair and condition. We can condition the hair in a really smart, lightweight way that isn't just putting watered down conditioner on the hair. Right. So I have a thoughtful approach to every single product I design. So that really works. When you're like, I love this and I don't know why. Well, I do. I really went to the mat for each and every product, and oh my gosh, it makes me like when people are like, oh yeah, that's a private labeled. I'm like, this is not a white labeled product. Like these are really designed for what the curly hair needs or what a post perm needs and all those things. And it's simple but complicated, right? So yeah, that's what goes into it because at the end consumer being the salon owner, stylist, client needs to be able to pick from just a small arsenal of products and they need to work together in a really smart, high functioning way. The perm is designed that way. When I went in designing my perm, of course I tested every single thing on the market from high to low and they all had here's for color treated hair, here's for fine and da-da-da hair. And I'm like, okay, what the hell's the difference on a chemical level? And I was so disappointed to find out a majority of the time it was just watered down versions of themselves. So I was like, cool, from a product company, you're like, yeah, you have to buy all these SKUs. But from a stylist and a salon owner, and who's our top consumer? Now we have 70% of our consumers are suite owners. Space is limited if they're working out of a suite. So it's obnoxious for me to think I'm going to now sell them a back bar system that now has all these different SKUs in it. Yeah. Baloney. It's not going to work. So my perm can be dialed up or dialed back, whether you add heat, add time, or don't, because that's how perms work. So yeah, we put it in the education instead of in additional SKUs, and I quit acting like hairdressers were idiots because they're not. They're really smart. They want to know why it's working. They want to know the science behind it. And yes, is it more laborious and going to be a slower grow for me doing it that way, having them certify, teaching them the science of we're looking for a stretch, not a wiggle push. Everyone doesn't get processed for 20 minutes. Yes, I know. And trust me, all the, bald-headed big guys are like, make this similar. Just make it all standardized. I'm like, no, because you're not a hairdresser. And yeah, I'm going to teach them. We're going to teach them. We're going to get them there. It's going to be slower, but it's the right way to do it. I know it in my guts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's so awesome. So you have a perm or a texture, whatever you call it.
Yep.
And then you have, and it can vary. That one particular box or one item can vary on the type of hair that you're dealing with.
I'm like, do I have it anywhere? Here, let me grab it, okay?
Okay.
So we have this and this. It's perm solution. We literally think out of the box. It's not in the box. It's in a actual pourable, so you can pour it into a tint applicator, the amount you need, instead of snipping a tip, wasting a bunch of plastic, and needing to use 2.5 perms half the time. And then our neutralizer is a way bigger size because you use 2 times the amount of neutralizer than you do perm solution. Are you ladies ready for this, though? This neutralizer goes straight over top. No more rinsing, no more blotting.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
You're
That is
welcome.
awesome.
I know.
That is awesome.
It's so wasted on anyone that's never done a perm. They're like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah. So you have your permanent wave and your
Yep.
neutralizer. Now you have some styling and finishing products, or just
Yeah.
styling products. And how many do you have?
Shampoo, conditioner, and then 4 stylers. We have
Okay.
we have a leave-in conditioner, we have a curl cream, we have a volume mousse, and then we have a texture spray, a finishing texture spray that's a illuminating texture spray. Again, curly hair tends to be dull. We love a salt spray,
Right.
but you need a soft sheen to a salt spray if you're going to use it on curly hair.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is awesome.
Be developing those hearts, be like birthing a baby, aren't they?
Oh my God. Well, and the perm to get the smell correct, like we use scent encapsulation, scent note matching. It's a cysteine based perm packed with pea protein plex technology. So it actually repairs and restructures as it's perming. And then because we neutralize right over top, it locks it in. So in most cases, hair feels stronger, shinier, more flexible than before they got the treatment. So we have a ton of natural curly haired people that are getting these perms just to soften it and make it more manageable. So yeah, it's a texture tool. It's unique enough. I was able to get a patent on it.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
cool.
That is awesome. Wow. Wow.
Thanks.
I am so excited now.
Right? I know. Now you guys got to get your perm fingers ready.
Yeah, get a
That's great. And so they can find out all your classes through your website?
Yeah. Yeah. Our website and Instagram. Those are the ways that you can really discover us and engage with us the most. Website, you're going to want to sign up for our newsletter. Get on there, get certified. That's going to really get you plugged and play into all of our resources that we have. Yeah.
So we have this thing we do on
Okay.
Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And it's crazy to us, but it's like the number one thing that our audience likes. And I think it's because they like to know about the person,
Yeah.
not just the talent, the product, or the technique.
Of course.
So we do the little thing, rapid fire, where we asked, 5 questions, and we just asked you very quickly to give, the first thing that comes off the top of your head. Because,
Okay.
if you really want to know what's going on, you ask a good hairdresser. Because,
For any, the widest range of things, you're like, do you know a good place to eat? Do you know a good OBGYN? Do you all of it?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
All right.
an orthodontist for my children.
All of- yes.
Those things. So, and I think because hairdressers are, first of all, creative, artsy people, so they always lend in that direction. So I'm going to start the first question
Okay.
with something that's in the arts. What's on your playlist? What are you listening to right now?
Oh my gosh. So it's complicated because I have 2 young daughters. So I unfortunately am listening to their playlist most of the time. So that's a lot of Sabrina Carpenter, a lot of T Swift. We're getting out of the T Swift era. Olivia Rodrigo, they love. But for me, I'm old school. I love the Cranberries is heavy rotation. I love the Cranberries playlist. I love La Tigra is probably my favorite band. And the Cure playlist is always, just a goth at heart.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. What's the last book or audio that you listened to?
Ooh, that's a good one. The last audiobook, and I try to listen to this one every year or read it every year, is The Big Leap. It just helps me remain brave, I guess, and just remind myself to be really present with big decision making and following my what they call zone of genius.
Yeah.
But I'm currently reading, it's called Men Who I've Never Known. It's I think it was written in the 70s. It's a small book. My best friend, who I told you was makeup artist, she's now a librarian. So she has the best random book recommendations. So I just now read whatever she tells me to. But yeah, Men Who I've Never Met. It's about these women that are held captive, and it's a really interesting kind of crazy premise of a story, but that's what I'm reading right now.
Cool. Do you have a favorite quote or motto that you tend to share with your students or that you kind of live by?
Yeah, I love so many quotes from Dolly Parton, just on being your authentic self. But something that like I run through my head is courage is the ability to be scared to death and saddle up anyways. And I think it was a John Wayne quote.
Yeah.
As especially this chapter, like, you know, I've kind of shared that like I know there's going to, in a few years, I know in my gut, in a few years from now, everyone's like, of course it's successful. Perms are everywhere. Like it's going to be this like, yeah, duh. But it's been years of, you know, I wasn't even inspired to do this brand. It was a haunting where I just know it's supposed to exist. And I know I'm supposed to get my booty out there and get hairdressers educated and feeling successful with texture, not being so scared of it. But yeah, it's that feeling that it's like, okay, I think so often we like are scared and we're like, so we're supposed to stop. And no, it's being scared to death and being like, all right, keep going. Don't wait for everybody to agree with you. Don't wait for it to feel comfortable. Lean into the discomfort. And it's every single day. That's what I'm doing.
This is my number one favorite question to ask.
Okay.
If they were making a movie of your life, who would you want them to cast to play you?
Mary-Kate Olsen.
Really?
I
don't even know if she's that great of an actress anymore, but like she's the coolest. She's always been my fave.
Yeah, that's really cool. I did not see that company. If you were going back to change one thing in your career, what would it be?
Probably would have moved to New York sooner. Okay. When you're young, if you have a chance to move somewhere better, do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and it was really scary, the thought of leaving my family. Like I felt this permanence where like if I left, I could never come back. And now, I would have told my younger, like, go. I had an opportunity to San Francisco and New York, and it was like this tiny window, and I was just too chicken to do it.
I can't imagine you being a chicken.
Yeah, right.
But it was like I made big, brave moves locally.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, all right, well, at least I'm here with my family and my friends. Yeah, but if you have a chance to like move somewhere better, do it.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Great
thanks.
podcast.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for sharing so openly and honestly with us.
And Janine, you are the founder of Curl Cult.
Yes.
And I want to thank you so much for being on our podcast, Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. You are a driven person, and we love that about you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies. Thanks for doing stuff like this, too, to get artistic voices heard. We got to link arms and stick together.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, thank you so much. And where can you tell the audience where they can find you?
Yeah, so best place to find me for Curl Cult, curlcult.com, at Curl Cult on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to find me, my page is a lot more boring. It's lots of kid pictures, but it's at Janine Jarman, and my salon is at Heroin Salon.
And now on Tuesdays, you do a live Instagram.
I do, on Curl Cults. Yeah,
yes.
on Curl Cult.
Yeah, because I see that all the time. You know, I
it's
search
working.
all the time. Yeah,
it's working. All right.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Wow, what an episode. That wraps up another exciting edition of Artists, Icons, and Entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you're leaving inspired and ready to chase your dreams. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our podcast so you never miss an episode over at youtube.com/Artists, Icons, Entrepreneurs, as well as Facebook at Lulu Benavidez, on IG at Lulu Benavidez, at Evolve Hair Solutions as well. And don't forget to visit our website at lulubenavidez.com and evolvehairsolutions.com to stay updated. Until next time, keep dreaming big, creating boldly, and making your mark on the world. Thanks for listening, and take care, everyone.